Welcome into In the Huddle with John Ritchie. John, it's Dallas week and also Christmas week, so it makes it even better. But for Christmas Eve, we got the Eagles in Dallas. Obviously, it just came out official that Jalen Hurts is not starting. It's going to be Gardner Minshew because of that right shoulder sprain. What can we expect from that? Should we be concerned when he does come back? Is it kind of a lingering injury? Can you explain what to expect out of a
I
shoulder sprain?
I don't think it's a lingering injury. I think the fact that we've heard from Nick Sirianni and Shane Steichen that Jalen's been fighting to get back for this game all week, uh, I'm not worried about it. I was expecting him to play. I think that most people who've played football have dealt with AC sprains before. It's kind of just what you get from playing football. I've never tried to be an NFL quarterback and throw with one of those. I think that would be exceedingly difficult. But we saw him in the fourth quarter against the Bears play his best football, and that injury occurred on the second to last play of the third quarter. So he was physically capable of doing it in Chicago. I guess it's just a matter of it swelled up. It got more sore during the week. I think they're erring to the side of caution to try to be wise with a young player that they know is a major part of their future. But I do believe if this were a playoff game, that Jalen Hurts would be playing. So I'm not worried. I'm fascinated to see if the front office deems it necessary to play him against the Saints because I do believe this came from the front office. So I guess we'll wait and see. But the bottom line is I am not worried about Jalen physically.
Yes. I think it also would have been a lot different if the Cowboys won against the Jags this past week, too. It would be a different situation, obviously, and that could have altered the decision. But like I said, Eagles headed to Dallas on Christmas Eve. What can we expect in this game?
I don't I don't know. we got
I don't think anybody knows what to think about the game, honestly.
yeah. The line has moved to 6 points. We're 6-point underdogs. I think that says something. You know, we were talking to folks on the radio today, and it seemed like everyone thinks the Eagles are still going to win. It doesn't matter that Gardner Minshew's the quarterback instead of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is playing MVP caliber quarterback, and Gardner Minshew has played 2 games as a starter for the Eagles. It's a drop off. It's a big difference. And part of what makes our offense so difficult to defend is you've got a +1 in the run game. Basically, because defenses have to account for your quarterback, you can block them all or you option. You option someone and you block the rest. And that optioned player, Micah Parsons, the first time we played the Cowboys, is essentially blocking himself. So we can't do that as effectively with Gardner Minshew. I am anxious to see how we scheme this. If I were Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni calling these plays, I would lean heavily into the run game and do what most Eagles fans were complaining we didn't do last week, which is just call run plays and run them. I think that this Dallas defense, they're in the 20s ranking wise in terms of yards given up on the ground and yards per carry allowed. I think we can beat them up with our big, nasty offensive line and gain some physical superiority up front with the run game, and then let Gardner Minshew work his way slowly into throwing the ball downfield. I would love to see Miles Sanders have a huge game because he didn't last week. And I expect this Dallas group, they're going to score. You know, this Dallas offense, if Dak doesn't give it away like he has the last couple of weeks, they're going to score points, even though our defense is really good. So we got to keep up with that. I expect it's going to be a real challenge.
Yeah, we'll find out if it really is the system or if it's Jalen Hurts in this one. It wouldn't shock me if Dallas, as you said, did put up points, especially Dak kind of needs a redemption game after that Jags interception. He had two of them, and both of them
Yeah.
were big pieces of the game and ended up losing on the game in overtime. But
Dak
with
was
that being
bad.
said,
Dak was bad, but this Dallas offense, they can run the football. They've got two backs. You know, Tony Pollard,
yeah,
their backup, is now a Pro Bowler. So this is a team that can do what hurt us, the Eagles defense, against the Commanders in the game that we lost. You know, last week, the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields ran the ball on us a little bit. David Montgomery had some success, but they got away from the run. If Dallas commits to the run, you know, I'm worried. It's not going to be easy.
well, good thing that they did lose last week because even though that we're worried, we don't have to be too worried in that sense, especially if Jalen's arm isn't as bad as we think that it shouldn't be. But with that being said, before we wrap up, Thursday night football tonight, you got the Jags at the Jets. What do you have on that game?
I am fascinated to see if Zach Wilson can look as good as he did last week when he threw for over 300 yards and a couple touchdowns. It's possible against this Jags pass defense. They're not very good. And so the Jets, who have an incredible defense themselves, they will function at a high level against Doug Peterson, our favorite. Doug Peterson is doing some nice things with Trevor Lawrence. I just think that Jets defense is so nasty. And I think Zach Wilson can do enough through the air that the Jets eke one out.
Okay, I love it. That's all we have for In the Huddle with John Ritchie ahead of week 16 of the NFL season, Dallas week. We'll see what happens in that game. But as always, you can watch John or listen to John on 94.1 WIP Monday through Friday from 10 to 2. And make sure you go download the BetParks app and follow us on all our social media platforms. We'll huddle again next week.